What are you doing?
I'm driving this Range Rover.
No you're not.
Well, everything that you would use to drive this Range Rover is currently out of the vehicle for a $100 evaporator core.
The Range Rover has finally done it, y'all. After decades of building some of the most beautiful and luxurious SUVs in the world that also happen to be mechanical nightmares, I'm happy to say it's finally gone electric. And I have to ask, is this their redemption story? Or just an expensive way to charge wealthy people with a different kind of breakdown? When I first heard that the Range Rover was going electric, my first thought was, wow, finally they might be able to build something that doesn't break in 5 years. Look, here's the thing about a Range Rover, and this is coming from someone who genuinely appreciates what they represent. For decades, the Range Rover has been the ultimate status symbol for people with old money. It doesn't scream money at you like a Bentley or Rolls-Royce or even a Mercedes does.
Mercedes.
Instead, it whispers luxury with that understated British elegance that says, I'm rich, but I don't need to prove it to you. But here's what every car enthusiast knows that the general public doesn't. Range Rovers are just built terribly. I'm talking about vehicles that fall apart faster than most cars on the road.
Range Rover HSE. There is so many parts that had to come apart to get to this thing. We're going to go through it and show you guys why is this a $3,000 job for a $100 part.
And that's just the beginning. Internal combustion engines have hundreds of moving parts, all waiting for their moment to fail. Range Rover parts have this special talent for needing replacement quicker than other manufacturers. And when they do break, you're paying premium prices for the privilege.
This job that we're going to dial the speed way down. Because every time you go, oops, break, snap, crack on a Range Rover, it could be $300, $500, $1,000 for some of these parts.
We're talking about a side mirror replacement to maybe even $1,500 for a freaking side mirror. So when it was announced that the Range Rover was going electric, I thought this could be its salvation. Here's why. One of the biggest things I love about electric cars is that they don't need nearly as much maintenance as ICE vehicles. We're talking drastically less maintenance because there are simply fewer things to break. In an EV, you pretty much got the battery, the motors, the brakes, the tires, and that's it. Compare that to the hundreds of little moving parts in a conventional Range Rover, all waiting for their time to fail and drain your bank account.
Look inside the vehicle and see how crazy it looks. I've said this before, and it's kind of like walking in on a loved one in the middle of open heart surgery. It's that shocking. It really, imagine this is your car and you say, hey, I left my keys in the glove box. I left something in the glove box. Can I come and get it? And you walk in and you see your car in this state. It is really, really scary.
The electric Range Rover comes with some impressive specs. 542 horsepower and 627 pounds-feet of torque, and with a 117 kilowatt-hour battery pack. They're claiming around 310 miles of range, which honestly for a vehicle this size and weight isn't terrible. It'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds, which is genuinely quick for something that weighs over 3 tons, y'all. But here's where it gets expensive. They're pricing this thing at around 170,000 pounds, which is about $228,000. So we're not really talking about accessible transportation here. We're talking about a luxury statement that costs more than most people's houses. Now here's the million-dollar question. Literally. Because that's probably what you'll spend on repairs over the lifetime of a traditional Range Rover. Will going electric actually solve the Range Rover's reliability issues? On paper, it should. Electric motors are incredibly reliable. Tesla has proven that EVs can go hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal maintenance. But here's my concern and where my skepticism kicks in. Will Land Rover engineer some failure points into this thing just to keep their service departments busy?
Now, Carver, you said we had a surprise to this video. I haven't heard any surprises.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a really good surprise for you guys. A shocker. I love delivering shockers. So I'm glad you came a little closer. I'm going to reveal the secret now. Everything that we just did was done less than a year ago by a different shop.
I'm not saying they're deliberately sabotaging their own vehicles, but planned obsolescence is real, y'all. It's when manufacturers design their products to become obsolete or fail after a certain period, encouraging customers to buy new ones every few years. And let's be honest, Land Rover vehicles are so expensive to maintain that their maintenance costs are nearly double the industry standards. The question is, can they resist the temptation to build in some character that requires some expensive dealer visits? Credit where credit is due though. Land Rover seems to have taken the electric transition seriously. They've developed their own battery technology instead of buying off-the-shelf components. The 800-volt architecture means it can charge up to 350 kilowatts, which is genuinely impressive. They've also created something called the Therm Assist system, which is designed to combat one of the biggest EV weaknesses, cold weather performance. This system can operate in temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius and reduces heating energy consumption by up to 40%. Now that's innovative engineering. The off-road capabilities remain intact as well. They're claiming it can wade through 33.4 inches of water and handle steep inclines with their new traction control system that reacts 100 times faster than traditional systems. But here's what really impresses me. If the Range Rover's reliability issues are actually solved by going electric, this could be a complete game changer for the brand. Think about it. All that luxury and status, but without the constant breakdowns. It would absolutely eat sales from every luxury SUV manufacturer on the planet. Another thing to think about is we don't know about the long-term reliability of their batteries. What happens when that 117 kilowatt hour battery pack needs a replacement in 8 to 10 years? With Land Rover's history, I'm betting it won't be cheap. The real test will be whether Land Rover can resist their old habits. Can they build something reliable and long-lasting? Or will they find new and creative ways to separate wealthy people from their money? Look, I want the Range Rover Electric to succeed. The idea of a truly reliable Range Rover is genuinely exciting. If they can deliver on that promise, they'll have created something truly special, a luxury SUV that's both prestigious and dependable. But I'm cautiously optimistic at best. Range Rover has spent decades building beautiful vehicles that are constantly breaking down. Going electric definitely solves some of those problems, but it doesn't change the company culture that created them in the first place. So is it finally reliable, or is it still a money pit? The honest answer is we won't know for sure until these things have been on the road for a few years. But for the first time in the Range Rover's history, I'm actually hopeful. And that's saying something. What do you guys think? Are you willing to bet $228,000 that Range Rover has finally figured it out? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to AK's Thoughts. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.